Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fandom Flux Podcast, episode 179. I'm gonna say 9. It's 9. No one question me on this. Good. So, I'm your host, Casey, who is entirely on the ball every single episode.
Sure, let's go with that.
And with me, we got Weasel.
Hi, I'm not Kitchy618.
What the hell was that?
It was coming from you?
Yeah, I know. It was a random ad that popped up on my channels.
Tater, these are the kind of mistakes we can't afford to make.
Shut up.
We have Spoken and his potential alien visitor. That's what it sounded like.
Hi.
We have Patient.
Hello, everyone.
And we have Kenchua.
Hi, I'm Kenshi618. Did you miss me?
Yes.
Yes.
A little bit. Not gonna lie.
Fantastic.
So,
I'm gonna start.
Okay.
Apparently, shit goes off the rails whenever I'm not here because of last week.
I don't know what
apparently.
you're talking about. I don't have faintest idea what you're talking
This is not the first time this has happened either.
No,
apparently.
it isn't the first time it's happened. It's the second time it's happened since I came on board.
about. It went fine.
What a world we live in when I am the stabilizing influence of this podcast. That's kind of sad.
How is it sad?
Well, I'm not exactly a stabilizing kind of person. I rather enjoy conflict and chaos to a certain degree. So
It reminds me of that one character from Sakura Refugees. Hostility makes me calm.
So, no, what was the problem? I don't remember there being a problem with last week's episode. It was all fine and good content and fun.
I haven't listened to it, but the title is Fandom Flux Loves Dicks.
There was a reason for that. There was a reason for that.
I'm certain there was.
It was
Laura.
very apropos as a title. In fact, it was too apropos. I kind of didn't want to make that the title, but what else could I... Like, the people that were there that
what
I
else
think was
do you
just...
call an episode where everyone spontaneously decides that they want penis?
Hey,
Ow.
Casey, don't lie. There was no way you didn't want to name it that.
I didn't. I'm very reticent to put swear words in, video titles because I don't know. Sometimes that gets, pulled up automatically as like content warning and stuff, and you don't want that on your videos. But there was no better option last week. That was the most appropriate title of any title that we've had for any of these episodes, I think.
Yeah, I need to be around more.
You just
That's
need to
all.
watch that episode because it was a good one.
That's all I want to say about that. You can continue.
So I'm sleepy again. Hi, Sleepy Casey here.
Hello, Sleepy.
Hi.
Sleepy Casey.
I've been
So-
busy for the past few days.
So, Casey's sleepy. I suppose that makes me Doc. Who are the rest of you?
I'm dopey.
Well, of course.
I'm Kenshi.
I'm grumpy, as usual.
Yeah, Tater would be anyone but grumpy.
Honestly, I think we need to make an 8th one called Horny for Weasel.
Dude, come on.
All right,
Go
moving on.
ahead, tell me I'm wrong.
Casey, who
You're
goes
a
first?
little wrong.
There's not really a who goes first in this sort of thing. Just someone jump in with something to talk about when conversation is winding down or something else.
Kenshi,
I've
what have you
spent
been up to lately?
most of the week prepping for the next release of my mod pack, and it's been pointed out to me by a couple of people who are quite interested in forestry that I forgot to include a couple of essential bee things. So
All things, as in insects?
yes, as in this pack. In the words of one of them, this pack is insufficiently Oprah.
Reference goes over my head.
Bees!
Okay.
Because of that meme where Oprah goes like, bees!
There
Reference
is
goes
a
over my head.
meme that, you know that episode where she gave everyone in the audience a card?
Yeah, the one that John Oliver one-upped on his show.
Yeah,
By paying everyone's medical bills.
yeah. And that medical bill payment doesn't bite you in the ass with tax later.
Yeah.
But there is a popular meme on the internet that replaces the image of the car in that box that she revealed on stage with bees.
Ah.
Oprah Winfrey is mimetically associated with giving away bees.
Yeah.
They fly everywhere and everyone's acting like they've been stung.
So
And
that's
so-
that's
In words of one of my server denizens, this pack is insufficiently Oprah. I demand additional bees.
Okay. Not a fan of bees myself, but okay, whatever floats their particular buzzing boat, I guess.
Other than that, been working on some fanfic stuff, planning things out for the eventual release of my ongoing project, and dealing with some extensive drama from various quarters, which
Hey, shall we?
thankfully has resolved itself as of yesterday and needn't be brought up further.
Cool.
Shall we?
And that's pretty much my week beyond getting some work done, but that's work. And the work is secretarial work for my dad's family remodeling business. So
Oh yeah, you talk about this week.
no one particularly wants to hear about my shitty secretarial job.
I don't know.
Ooh,
I spent a lot of time talking about my shitty retail job, so there's a low bar here, is what I'm saying.
Tater's the secretary.
Basically, I spend most of my time looking things up for my dad so that he can buy them, and then spend about 30 seconds looking up what he actually needs once he gets around to giving me a description beyond, here's a poorly pronounced name brand that I used for a similar job 12 years ago. It usually ends up working out, and I get paid by the hour, so it's not like I'm complaining.
Yeah, I mean, if you have to waste time on an hourly paid job, then that's actually beneficial, kind of. If you're kind of mercenarial in that sense.
Tater's the sexy secretary.
I mean, I guess technically, yes.
On the one
Not
hand,
seen them, but yeah.
on the one hand, those two words separately do apply to me. On the other hand, sexy secretary does not.
Yeah, I mean, if you're working for your dad, that has unfortunate connotations. So we're gonna say no, that's not a thing.
Moving swiftly along.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Kenshua, how did the wrestling thing do? Are we seeing you on the onlines?
No, you're not.
Aw.
But it was a very tiring 3 days. Oh, God. So I basically went up and down the great state of North Carolina during a 3-day stretch.
Oh my God, you were local?
You live in North Carolina?
Yes. I live in the Triad.
Huh.
Holy shit, you should have mentioned I would have come to see you.
I don't know where anyone lives until they tell me.
God damn it.
It's okay. It's okay. I think I'll be... Where exactly do you live?
Triad area.
Okay. I think I have a show in that area July 8th. I'll let you. I'll say more about it when we get closer. I need to know exactly where it is. But yeah, so up and down North Carolina, 3 days, and my God, I hate driving.
Well, welcome to North Carolina. People here can't fucking drive.
Yeah. So had some good matches. It was a lot of fun. Got my matches critiqued by someone who's actually pretty famous. You guys probably don't know Tommy Dreamer, but that's fine. Anyone that knows wrestling knows who Tommy Dreamer is. That's
the name
cool.
rings a bell. That's all I can say.
I've heard of him. That's about the best you're getting.
Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, it was a spectacular 3 days, and I was fucking dead afterwards. I was done afterwards. I had to come back. So let me just run through the schedule of things. I had to leave Friday morning and drive down to Fayetteville, North Carolina, which is 4 hours away from me, to grab a ring. And this is after work, so I got off at 7 and then had to go down there immediately. Got the ring by like 12. Then had to drive up to the actual venue for the show, which was 2 hours away from there. Had to set up the ring and everything, and then wrestle that night. Then we had a hotel room, but no one went to sleep till like 4 in the morning.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and there was another show the next day at noon.
Oh, shit.
Yep. And that night at 7:30.
God, this sounds like March for me. I'm sorry, dude.
Oh, we're not done yet, because then I had to drive 2 more hours to a next show on Sunday.
Oh, God, it's December.
Thankfully, I was able to get some sleep after that, but that show was at like, let's see, it was an afternoon show, and then I had to drive home, which was like 2.5 hours away, and then go to work immediately at 10:30 that night. So
I'm so sorry.
that's why I wasn't on Tuesday or Monday. That's why I wasn't on Monday or Tuesday.
Fair play. I feel kind of bad having Slicer try and text you.
I am so sorry.
Yeah.
So,
God, that sounds like a December for me.
Yeah, it's fine. It was fun though. It was a good time, learned a lot of good stuff, met some cool people, and it's fine because I now have all this week to recover because I have the week off from work.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
sweet.
This week is in this week just gone, or this week is this week coming?
This week coming.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was supposed to have another show today, but that got postponed until July 8th. So yeah, I'm kind of glad about that because I was tired.
Yeah. And now maybe you get your boy in the audience. Yay.
Maybe so. We'll see where it is. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I bought 2 things this week. Well, didn't buy one of the things. One of them was free. But I got Tekken 7 this week.
Okay.
And basically to explain how that is, it's Tekken.
Yeah.
So like there isn't a whole lot of variance between Tekken, so they add some stuff and take some stuff away sometimes, but it's Tekken. If you played one and you enjoyed it, you'll probably enjoy this one too. Let's see, but the other game I got was Tokiden 2.
I have no idea what that is.
This one was free. It's
But
like
I feel like I should.
I've heard the name.
my friend described it as like Monster Huntery. It's kind of like Monster Hunter,
Okay.
a little bit.
Hmm.
I haven't played much of it yet, but it's basically you're roaming around, killing monsters. There's a village that serves as your main base. Construct items out of weapons. You get power-ups every time you fight like a boss-like creature or something, and then you get to work with that power-up if you want
Construct items out of weapons.
to. Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I meant monster parts.
Oh.
I don't know why I said weapons. But yeah, I've been playing that, and
sometimes.
like 2 hours in, but I enjoy it so far. I have a feeling it might get repetitive later on. Maybe. I can't say for sure yet, but I'm enjoying it right now.
Nice.
Fair play. Never managed to get into any of the Monster Hunter style games, to be honest.
I got into God Eater.
I've never enjoyed the Monster Hunter ones. They're a little bit too MMO-y, my tastes.
Yeah, I can see that.
God Eater is a little different from most of the other Monster Hunter genre games because it actually has a really good story and characters. Like they really put a lot of detail into the fact that there are no minor characters.
Okay. Anything else, Kenchwa?
Not really. That's pretty much it.
Cool. Sorry, right. Awake. That's what I'm supposed to be right now. Hey, Weasel. Do anything cool?
Well, I completely beat High School Romance.
What's that? Aside from the self-explanatory title.
It is a very generically titled dating sim.
Huh. Any good?
Sprites needed a little bit more variation, and it's a little hard to tell what the difference between the main characters thinking and talking. But it's nice and fluffy, you know, good endings.
Okay.
You play a boy who, due to a mix-up, has to attend an all-girl school while cross-dressing.
Oh, that plot from that one anime we watched a long time ago. That name escapes me.
I also plan to, maybe later today, pick up the sequel, High School Romance 2, Magi Wars. Magi Wars? Magi?
Spelling?
M-A-G-I.
I honestly couldn't even guess because there's like 6 different pronunciations for it.
It's a High School Romance with...
Magi, in my experience.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
but I've also heard it as Margie and Maggie and Margie and yeah, there's like 6 different pronunciations. It depends on what they want to go with, really.
It
Unfortunately.
depends on what they're using the word to refer to as. If it's a name, then it's going to be pronounced differently than if it's supposed to be a classical pluralization of the singular mage.
It's supposed, in the context of this game, a M-A-G-I is a female mage.
So yeah, Magi.
See, here's the thing. The anime, Maggie is, you know, it's mages, essentially. Only they're called Magi instead.
Yeah, that would be a reasonable Japanese rendering.
Yeah, that's true.
But a westernization of the term would generally be Magi, given that that's the term actually used in several religions to refer to people of that persuasion.
Fair play.
The 3 Magi, for example.
Yeah.
The game is basically High School Romance with a magic twist. For one thing, instead of playing a cross-dressing boy, a magical spell gone awry actually turns you female. So, still the gender-bending theme.
Fair play.
It's significantly darker than the first High School Romance. In fact, there's several bad endings where you die.
To clarify, are these like, you know, canonically linked? Is it an actual sequel, or is it just, hey, we're going to slap this brand name on this thing?
It is a spiritual successor.
Okay.
A lot of people did complain that it was not a direct sequel, despite being called High School Romance 2. It rectified this. They removed the High School Romance 2 part of the title from the Steam store. So it's just listed as Magi Trials on Steam.
Oh, I think I've actually seen that one pop up on the thing a few times, and I immediately summarily dismiss it because it's a visual novel on Steam, which means I'm not wanting to look at that. For various reasons, not just, you know, the quality one that is also present.
Very much a factor.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Weasel?
Other than that, what else have I been doing? Shoot. I was gonna talk about something, but I forgot. We started talking about the pronunciation of magi.
Yeah, that was a weird thing.
um. Hmm. Shoot.
I'll buy time. So I've been moving furniture for the past 3 days. I'm literally
I'm
buying you
sorry.
time. So just So that's been a busy couple of days. I completely forgot about and missed the RP thing that we do on Thursdays, because
It happens, man.
yeah, it's been busy the past couple of days.
Yeah.
I had to skip the stream as well, and Zero made a attempt and proved once again that OBS is the worst piece of software in existence because it cannot do anything.
Well, it does have BS in the name.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Good point.
The RP wouldn't have happened even if you had showed up, because Tin Mom was out with the flu. So you really didn't miss anything.
So yeah, moving furniture a lot and moving a bunch of crap that like I have no like storage or display space at all in my flat. So all of the weird knickknacks and stuff, like got like the Ruby plushes and stuff and posts and things, I can't put anywhere because I've got nowhere to put it. And I had a 3-piece suite in my flat that has literally just been gathering dust because I have my office chair and that's what I sit in because I'm at my desk all the time at my computer. So I've just had several large pieces of furniture literally just taking up space for no reason. So yeah, so I got rid of those. I basically traded them in for a double bed, so that was pretty cool. Good
Nice.
deal. Good deal.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Yeah. Thinking of getting a Casper mattress because Rooster Teeth have been spotted by them so much that I can't get the name out of my head.
Which kind of mattress?
That's how advertising works.
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, I mean, they're supposed to be like a really, really high-end mattress, so that seems like a thing I want to have after having the shittiest mattress in the world for the past 28 years of my life.
Yeah. Having any sort of mattress for 28 years is a bad idea.
I sleep on couches. It's easier on my insomnia. I mean, my current bed, air quotes, is a futon, but I leave it closed and sleep on it as if it's a couch.
Okay.
It's just easier for me to sleep on couches because insomnia.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing the past couple of days, and that's pretty much it. I don't even remember anything else I did this week because that's dominated my mind. I'm sure there was something, but it's gone.
They're there.
So, Weasel, did you figure it out?
Yeah, but I don't think it's really appropriate for on-air talk. Maybe when we're done, I was hoping to get some advice for a story I'm writing.
Okay.
I'm kind of torn on this one thing.
Okay. If you'd rather wait till after, that's fine.
No, it's just I don't think it's appropriate for this podcast.
Okay.
To discuss my own writing.
Okay. Patient, what have you been doing this week?
All right. So this was my first week of my last semester at University of North Texas. So it's going well. Just taking 2 classes over the summer. One is a technical writing class, but focusing in writing manuals, and the other is British literature.
Oh my.
Okay.
Thus far, we've been looking at Wordsworth, Keats, And
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
no. No, we haven't looked into that.
Well, have you looked at like most of the characters making up that particular group? Because that's, a lot of those writers were British.
Sorry, I was misremembering the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I thought. Sorry. Well, like I was saying, this week has been focusing on Wordsworth and Shelley, who wrote Adonais, I believe, and William Blake, and
good poet.
Yeah, one who wrote Tiger, Burning Bright. I can't remember who the last one was. I'm reasonably certain his name started with a C.
That's probably a bad thing considering it's a class.
Was it Chaucer?
And no, more like
Chaucer would generally be the subject of a British literature course, maybe like a medieval or classical one.
Yeah,
like for a course that focuses on Shelley, among others. I think he'd be a little bit early for that.
Yeah,
it's a 5-week course. There's not a lot of options available for how to do it. So, it's basically reading 4 different stories a week. No, that's not right. At least one story 4 days on. At least 4 stories a week, rather. Coleridge, that was it. Coleridge.
Don't actually recognize that name, to be honest. I am so uncultured.
So, that class has been going all right. Aside from that, a couple of hours before the podcast began, my girlfriend and I went on what we considered to be a first date. It was due to the distance between us. It was basically just both of us going out to different restaurants nearby, serving breakfast and chatting with each other while we were there. Tried blueberry pancakes at her suggestion. They were pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yep. Aside from that, things have been going really well with her, and just improving as time goes on. Though we're mutually eager to meet in person, so we're hoping to do that at some point in the near future, but not easy to arrange.
I did ask about this before the show started and looked up flights, and yeah, they're still pretty expensive.
Well, I mean, I'm heading up to Canada in 2 weeks for the wedding of another friend of mine, but scheduling conflicts, not to mention the fact that I'm going to be on pretty much the exact opposite end of Canada to where my girlfriend lives, means that we won't be able to meet in person. So that's unpleasant.
There.
Yeah. Sometime after the fact, I'm sure. Look forward to it. Aside from that, I've been on Pokemon Coliseum. I've been trying to finish up the aftergame, which actually I have finished up the aftergame. Now I'm just going through the admittedly tedious process of purifying all of the shadow Pokemon in the game.
Could be worse. Could be Gale of Darkness.
I know. I just want to get all of these Pokemon purified before I move on to Gale of Darkness.
Oh, you're going to love the purification system updates.
I know. I've never played Gale of Darkness, but I've watched 2 different Let's Plays of it. One by the great Chugga Conroy, and one by a YouTuber who goes by the name of the Speedster. I'd recommend checking him out. He does a lot of countdowns and good Let's Plays. Aside from my purification of the Shadow Pokemon has basically amounted to replaying several different areas of Mount Battle with several Shadow Pokemon in my party and trying to raise them, reduce their meters down to the point where they can be purified. At this point, I've gotten most of them done, 32 out of 48 so far. So,
not bad.
Yeah, not too much further to go. After that, I'm going to see about conquering Mount Battle from bottom to top on the main menu, which will give me a Ho-Oh, and then I'll be moving on to either XD Gale of Darkness or a different game series that I've finally, after years of looking and being unable to get it, I finally managed to secure the game for. Near the end of the Nintendo GameCube's run, there were 2 games released under the name of Baton Kaitos. It's a pretty entertaining series.
Isn't that the one with the hilarious bad voice acting?
I don't think so. I mean,
I might be confusing that with something with a very similar name.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I mean, there are 2 games in this series. One is Baton Kaitos Eternal Wings in the Lost Ocean, and the other was released a few years later, Baton Kaitos Origins, which was a prequel game. When I received my first GameCube, the friend who gave it to me included 2 games with it. One was Luigi's Mansion, and the other was Baton Kaitos Origins. So I've had Baton Kaitos Origins in mind for years, and I've been curious about the other game. So I finally managed to get a copy of it, and once I finish with Pokemon Coliseum, I'll probably be playing it, seeing how the plot went exactly after the prequel. Should be nice.
I did look up the game, and it might be the one I was thinking of, because the reception was the voice acting was not great. So maybe, I don't know.
Well, I'll take a look at it. In any case, I'm hoping that once I've gotten both games done, I might actually write a fanfiction about them where it's less of a bittersweet ending, is what I have in mind. So, let me see. Is there anything aside from that? Oh, of course. How could I have forgotten? Fanfic writer by the name of Nike, like the shoe company, or clothes good. You know.
Sure, it's not Nike or Nikkei?
I'm pretty sure it's. Never. Ignoring that.
It could be Nikkei. I mean, Nikkei is a Japanese word for sky.
It's Nike. Nike's more amusing.
Okay. I was trying to class it up, but whatever.
Anyway.
Anyway, he messaged me a couple of several days ago about a story premise that he had in mind, which was very, very much based off of my story, Changing the Future Redone. Basically showing a group of consequences that would happen after the interventions from the future were finished. He showed me the first chapter wherein Zoro and Kawina both joined Luffy in Shellstown. And it was... Oh, I like how it was written. It was basic. The story was called The Future That Never Was, and he's in the process of continuing to write it. So I'm looking forward to what he comes up with. In my story, each chapter was its own one-shot, each time period that they got sent back to for a different crewmate, for the most part being a different time period, but there were a few that didn't create ripples big enough that they couldn't conceivably happen at the same time. I might have messed up on the quantity of negatives there, but basically this story is showing what would have happened, what happened after the interventions that saved 6 people that the Straw Hats went back to save, basically. I had always intended at first for Zoro, Nami, Usopp, and Frankie to happen at the same time, but Nike threw in 2 more interventions that could conceivably happen at the same time. So I'm looking forward to see what he comes up with. And it's clear from the first chapter alone that the interventions have created some unexpected butterflies.
Are you going to link this?
Pardon?
Are you going to link this?
Oh, of course. Did I copy the... Yes, I copied the link. I just didn't... There.
I didn't know we were doing recommendations.
Well, it's not... It's partly a recommendation, partly just... I can't believe that someone actually is putting forth a quality piece of work inspired by my story, essentially.
Oh. That's kind of how I thought about Blue Moon, the Alessa Grant Chronicles. It was heavily inspired by my unknown origins, and to be honest, I found it flattering.
So,
Yeah.
Patient, how many imitators have there been of this bite so far?
How many imitators of this bites?
Following in the footsteps? Just curious.
I don't know, honestly. At least 3. I mean, Nativo, Evan, and I had it Thomaster, that's it. I'm pretty sure it was Thomaster. There have been lots of them, but once again, that's primarily Zomniac's story. Hornet and I are just...
Primarily doesn't mean solely.
Yes, well, this one, Changing the Future Redone, is... I took the premise from Blua, but the story is mostly mine, so I do feel flattered and impressed when people make work off of this bites, but it's a lot more flattering when it's something that's something that I could do on my own. I mean, my claim to fame is mostly helping good stories become great, so it seems to me. And I'm just flattered that someone else saw something that I created off of somewhat on my own. But, well, you get what I mean.
So I figured out another of the things that I did this week. The memories are coming back to me. They're blurry, but they're there. So me and Zero finally managed to record some more Zero Interest. Ruby's finished. We recorded that a long time ago. but we finally managed to start recording the next show that we're going to do. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't think Zero has, and I think people should find out on the last episode of Ruby what that is, to be honest. But, yeah, it's been a hell of a hassle trying to get that recorded. Because you might remember from earlier in the episode when I was railing against OBS for being a piece of shit that doesn't work. This was the third time trying to record it.
I'm so sorry, Casey.
Yeah, Zero was pretty much on the verge of giving up when we were at this point.
Sounds like a bunch of fun.
Yeah, but because of all the kerfuffle and finding out how terrible OBS is as a program and as a piece of software that just does not want to work and do anything right, we actually found a much better way to do our setup. So it's going to probably look a lot better. Like the way we used to have it was like Zero was big picture and I was picture in picture in the bottom right and tiny. Now we've got a program that will just automatically do side-by-side video feeds. So,
Nice.
That's much better than it used to be.
Cool.
So that's a plus, makes the whole thing a little easier.
I finally remember what I was going to talk about.
Yay! Go. That was pretty much done, so.
Sorry, so we might just be getting a possible revival of my webcomic.
Okay.
Also, Weasley used to have a webcomic.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, just when I mentioned it somewhat. Yes, it was a... Tato would object to this term, but it was a high fantasy hentai.
Okay. Why would he object?
Because he doesn't believe hentai should be labeled just something American.
I mean, what would the American label be?
It's an adult webcomic.
See, when I hear the word adult put before something, I don't think like is it, just boobs and butts? Or is it like just full frontal everything and very visually distinct what happens in it?
The climax of the first chapter is a tree root tentacled gangbang.
Okay, so adult is pretty much on the nose then, right? Just like, nails that right on the head.
Right on the cockpit.
And with the head, I guess.
Well done, friend.
And if we're going to keep going, I mean, it's tentacles, so with the other heads too. All of them. I'm sorry, patient.
You should be sorry. You shouldn't.
Forgive me if I decide to bow out of this podcast early.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're not.
No, I actually really am. It's just it's also funny.
Okay, so that's coming back. What were the circumstances of that?
Our publisher dropped off the face of the earth.
Hate when that happens.
Yeah, we haven't heard from him in probably coming up on a year now.
Mm-hmm.
And we've tried every single method of contacting him. It's just like he's completely vanished.
It's really not good when anyone does that. They just disappear without a trace.
But for a while, my artist quit because he was looking for something that would actually get him money. But he says he is interested in continuing it if we can find another place to host our webcomic.
Right, well, that's
right now
that's not too difficult. I mean, you can buy a domain for a couple quid, and
I don't have a couple quid.
All right, a yearly hosting fee is, I think it's tenner. Like, that's it. It's spectacularly cheap to do so now. So.
And Weasel and I are spectacularly poor.
Okay. There used to be a site that I forget the name of, but basically it was a webcomic hosting site that just had a fuck ton of them on.
Yeah, I remember something like that in the late '90s, early '90s.
This was like mid to late. I think it was called. Okay. It apparently used to be Drunk Duck, but is now The Duck.
Fantastic.
Huh.
Yeah, that's rebranding for you. They went, sell out.
What the duck?
Patient. Yeah. So there used to be a bunch of comics that I would read on this site. I assume, there was a One Piece comic that was basically doing the Dots and Droids thing, where they turned the whole thing into a role-playing campaign.
Huh.
It was pretty solid, actually. But
Oh dear.
well,
Sorry to interrupt. My girlfriend just informed me of a bit of sad news. Adam West passed away yesterday.
What?
Son of a... We have lost a legend.
Indeed.
Oh man.
Rest in peace, Bat Nipples.
he wasn't Bat Nipples. He was Bat Felt Suit.
Oh, that right.
Bat Nipples was Clooney. He's still around. He's kicking.
Oh yeah.
Leukemia.
Wasn't Clooney also Bat Credit Card?
Yeah, that was Clooney too. Yeah.
Leukemia, apparently.
That credit card?
Yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah.
Batman tried to use a Bat credit card to pay for an evening with Poison Ivy for charity.
It was a meme that Nostalgia Critic did when he reviewed Batman and Robin.
As the worst thing that Joel Schumacher ever did to Batman. In the same film that introduced the Bat Nipples and Bat Asses. Yeah.
To be fair,
The Batman films have a weird history, and in fairness, what it was supposed to be, that film, Batman and Robin, it was supposed to be going back to... It was like an homage to the Adam West Batman.
right, except instead of being campy, it added 90s aesthetic to everything and had some of the most fucktarded decisions for architecture in the history of forever. Who builds a stellar observatory in downtown metropolitan area?
Yeah.
That does not work.
It literally doesn't work. Like, it wouldn't work. Yeah. The Adam West one, on the other hand, wasn't, so... It was sillier, but it was supposed to be, because it was supposed to be a comedy and not actually a superhero thing. So,
Really? I thought the camp was unintentional.
no, it was very intentional. It was supposed to be, I'm not sure whether it was supposed to be parody, but it was supposed to be very, very silly.
Oh.
It certainly was not intended to be parody.
Yeah, that's why I was reticent to say it, but yeah. Sad times. Upside. How many greats have died this year?
KC, you should know more than anyone that Brits are immortal.
Greats.
Oh, greats. Fuck me.
I mean, it's got to be less than last year so far, right?
It does seem like last.
If that were true, Weasel, we wouldn't have the... Graham Chapman wouldn't have left us.
Yeah, good point.
And,
If Brits were immortal, then the website Is Margaret Thatcher Dead Yet not only would still be up, but probably would never have reason to exist in the first place.
Also, we'd still have David Bowie, and we'd still have... His name escapes me, and I feel really bad about that, but Snape.
Alan Rickman.
Thank you. God damn it.
He's also... I honestly think he's more famous for Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Which?
And, well, Monty Python in general.
Who, Graham Chapman or Alan Rickman?
Alan Rickman.
I think you're very mistaken. He was like...
Was never part of the Python troupe.
He was like 12 at the time, I think.
Huh.
The Pythons were still touring up until the 90s, let's be fair.
Oh.
That said, Alan Rickman was never part of the Pythons.
No, it was Eric Idle, John Cleese, Graham Chapman, Michael Palin.
Unrelated to Sarah.
I see what I'm about to say.
Terry Gilliam and
the actually funny one.
Wow. Why did I ever think he was Monty Python?
Because he's British.
And because you're American.
Mm-hmm.
That's not fair.
it really isn't.
But it kind of is.
You're not wrong.
Kind of is.
Also, Terry Gilliam's films outside of Monty Python are fucking weird.
Like, I've got relatives, like, not my mom, because she's, like, involved with music and stuff, but I've legitimately got relatives who thought that David Bowie was involved with the Beatles.
David Bowie.
That
David Bowie.
And just to clarify, that's relatives, plural.
Okay. I both can and can't see that, but more importantly, I really, really want to see that. Just David Bowie and the Beatles doing a collab, that would be phenomenal.
That would have been amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
next best thing is Michael Bolton and Lonely Island.
That's not the next best thing. It's not.
It really isn't. It really, really isn't. So, what were you saying before I brought up that bit of depressing news, Casey?
What was I saying? Like,
I think we were talking about the Duck webcomics.
Oh yeah, there was a bunch of comics on there that I read, and then they started changing things around, and a lot of the favorites that I used to use didn't work anymore, and I realized I didn't actually like the comics that I was reading that much, so I stopped.
Yes, for that moment where we realized that what we love is shit.
Not that it was shit, just that I wasn't invested enough to try and find them again. So, but yeah, I don't know what the criteria is for hosting a webcomic on there, and with their new advertiser-friendly image, we'll say, that means they can't have drunk in the name, they might not be willing to take on something that is very, 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 very 18 plus. I don't know.
Well, thanks. I'll give this place a look.
Yeah. So, one other thing I did was I played some Deadly Premonition on PC, and it is the worst game port since... No, it was... Like, until Batman Arkham Knight came along, it was probably the worst port to PC. Because... Wow. The fixes for that game to make it work on PC, just, from purchase, you don't like you have to actually fix things yourself to make it work on your system, will actually break parts of the game. So depending on what you actually want to do in the game while you're playing it, you need to like choose which particular fix you want to do so you can fix the right parts of the game. And you won't be able to do the other parts. It's kind of mesmerizing how broken it is. Like, we did an hour-long stream for the channel last Thursday. I am astonished that it managed to stay working for the entire hour. Like, I tried to play it afterwards, it wouldn't last 10 minutes.
There.
I need to uninstall that shit. It's way more effort than it's really worth. But, god damn. It's like one of my top 20 favorite games, and I literally can't play it anymore.
There.
Makes me sad.
Sad times.
I suppose if I want my fix, I should probably just start watching Twin Peaks at some point. Actually,
That's
see the source
basically
material.
That's basically what Deadly Premonition is.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Twin Peaks is about a mystery. And the mystery is, what the hell is up with this show?
Not really.
Not wrong.
I mean, kind of, but it's more like... It's a whole tangential conversation that I'm actually legitimately not qualified to have because I haven't seen the show. Anyone got anything else to talk about, or are we wrapping this one up because we're pushing an hour?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'd say I'm good.
Anyone got any recommendations or whatnot for the fans?
Yes, I do.
Very well.
Yes.
I'm a C.
I'm going to
I'm a
post
double
a
A.
link to this, and I'm not really going to give much of a description because either you like it based on the concept or you don't. It's a fairly standard concept. Obito Peggy Sue. It's To Be Lost on the Road of Life, a Naruto fanfic.
Okay.
Huh.
It's an interesting premise, at least.
Obito. I don't remember. Oh,
He was basically the last villain to be redeemed in Naruto.
was. Now I remember. Now I
possibly-
remember. One of our reviewers compared him to Baron Omatsuri from One Piece.
No.
There was also a viewer who compared Cross to abridged series Kirito, and that just shows
Cannot
that.
see it at all.
No.
Yeah, that just shows that. I'm sorry, patient, but a lot of our fans are idiots.
A lot of
know,
the internet is idiots. Let's be fair here.
I'm probably going to cut that bit out. Just...
No, leave it in.
No, don't leave it in, like Weasel. Things you don't say... There are things you don't say about people that read and enjoy your work. Just generally speaking.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, you're kind of putting patient in a bind there by saying that.
Sorry.
I'm looking through my alerts list to see if there's anything worthwhile to recommend. Does anyone else have anything?
I've got a recommendation.
Okay.
So this is a Sword Art Online partial gender swap called the Kirito Chronicles by
I feel like
Seeker 66.
I feel like I've seen that before. Has it been referenced on here before?
Not on here, no.
Okay.
It pretty much fixes most of what was wrong with Sword Art Online, in addition to being a partial gender swap. For one thing, Kirito is actually a three-dimensional character with depths and flaws. Not quite to the level of the abridged series, but more. So, not a complete asshole, but yeah, still a relatable character, and it gives a lot of other characters a lot more screen time and depth. It's pretty good. It's kind of stiff in the beginning, but it really gets better because something you need to keep in mind is that this story began in, let's see, 2013. So the authors have improved a lot in the past 4 years. Author's notes can get kind of long at the beginning of each chapter, but again, it gets better as it goes on. And the author's pretty nice.
I got nothing. So.
I have nothing.
It's okay, Casey. I'm not good at things either.
I have a bunch of new alerts, but none of them are particularly good. A lot of them are guilty pleasures, and not ones that I would recommend for anyone else.
As for me,
I've got me curious.
I've got several picks on my favorites list, but I've recommended pretty much all of them on here before. So.
Okay. Oh, I do kind of have one. It's called Sword Art Online Realization. It's fairly new, started at the end of March. 6 chapters, 38,000 words. Basically, it's Sword Art Online, but I understand there's a Sword Art Online Progressive or something, where it's like they go through every floor and do the story in a really long and meandering way.
Progressive is a retelling of Sword Art Online from Asuna's perspective.
Ah, okay.
And it doesn't really do much in the way of time skips, so it gives you a lot more detail into the lore of Sword Art Online and what happened between floors.
Okay, so I guess this is kind of like the progressive thing in that sense, then. It's, still from Kirito's perspective, but it goes into a lot more detail, and it changes a lot of the details, like how the game works, for one. Like, it's massively changed from the beta, so people actually seem to be struggling, including the beta testers. The plot goes in a different direction, and it seems, at least so far, to be going floor by floor rather than skipping through bits and pieces. I'm curious to see how long he tries to keep that up, but, going through 75 of those is going to take a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how much actual plot and character development you can go through in all of that, but for what it is so far, it's, pretty entertaining. The main story beats are still the same. Like, obviously, they have to fight a floor boss and stuff, and, Kirito gets a cool sword and things, and that kind of thing is the same for now, but there's a lot more in the background of it, like a lot more detail of how the players are managing to survive and how they're getting people motivated for carrying on rather than just, saying, oh, and then the players were inspired and they all joined the front lines, and then the clearing group got way bigger for reasons.
You okay, Tater?
Just tactics.
Or hit it until it dies.
Spoken's mad about something, but he's not apparently willing to say, so.
The lack of anything remotely resembling proper strategy or any strategy or like basic cognitive ability in the people planning out the boss raids just gets on my nerves.
Well, there was actually a full strategy planned out against the Elfang boss in canon, but they didn't really cover it in the anime.
Yeah. If memory serves, they did do that in this story as well. I forget, though. Like, it was a while ago that I read this, so... But there's the link for my reference and for anyone that actually wants to read it. But yeah, it's a lot of detail that the original story was missing, and events go differently, which is kind of what you hope for in a fan fiction. So it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Indeed.
Alright, anyone else got anything else before we close this out?
I'm good.
I
I'm good.
regrettably have nothing else to recommend presently.
I think I just swished orange juice directly into the mic.
So that I've been kind of subdued this episode. I'm trying to control myself, and I did just wake up.
Yeah, I think everyone's just kind of low right now, and just in a recovery
Yeah, more or less.
position. No, that's the wrong thing. Mode works.
Isn't
Recovery
recovery
mode.
position what you use to try not to throw up morning after a bender?
Recovery position is the thing that you put someone into when they are unconscious and you don't know how to help them.
Oh yeah. I knew it had something to do with alcohol.
Potentially, it does have something to do with alcohol, in fairness, yeah. Yeah. It's the position you put someone into when there is something wrong. You have no idea how to fix it, and you're waiting for the ambulance. That's the thing that they suggest that you put the person into.
You know those handles that some cars have on the ceiling?
Yes?
Yeah.
They're meant for hanging clothes, but that's not readily apparent. So my mom's best friend would call them "kiss your ass goodbye" handles.
I mean,
See,
that is a valid situation in which you might want to use one of those.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there's... Like... My family's never been particularly affluent, so when I was a kid, we had this shitty car. It's called, I think it's a Ford Cortina. I forget, but it was garbage. And this was before, at least it was made before there were regulations where you had to have seatbelts in the back seats. So
Oh my.
yeah, me and my sister would just kind of either roll around or, depending on how the person felt like driving today, grab onto the handles and just hold on for dear life. So that was...
It's I don't know if I should be finding that funny just because it's in the past, or
Patient, would Casey be sharing it with us if he didn't want us to find it amusing?
would he?
Dude, it was just a thing that was a part of the culture back in the day. You didn't have to have seatbelts in the back, so people didn't. That's just how it worked back then. I'm not exactly bitter about it.
Interesting. Alright, fair enough. I just worry too much about offending people, it seems.
Relax, patient. You're among friends here.
Don't call me a snowman and we're probably good. So you'd be surprised how many times I have to remind people of that. So
Wait, so people seriously call you a snowman?
oh, there is a cavalcade of things that people call me, but you know.
That it feels like that should be racist, but at the same time, it kind of doesn't.
That's kind of the problem.
I mean, it's obviously bigoted, but I'm not sure what specifically to call that.
Albinoist? Albinophobic?
technically, if you really wanted to label it with an accurate label, then it would be ableist. But the accurate label is not always the best one.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we dive deeper into that particular can of worms, which I really don't want to do, I just want that on the record. I really don't want to do that. I've had arguments recently about disability and stuff like that, and now deaf people apparently don't consider themselves disabled because they don't want to be one of those people.
Okay, take us out of here, Casey.
Yep, doing that now. So, thanks for listening to the 179? 179.
179.
I don't know.
If you want to get in contact with us, you can do so through the YouTube channel through the comments. Please do it on Patreon if you feel so inclined. Once again, I'd like to thank you.
Words are your friend.
Pimp.
Have we suddenly become Katamari?
Good night, everybody.
Na 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 na.
Can change the na 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 na.
What am I listening to?
My childhood.
Are we still recording?
No.